Alright, what's up everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about the Phoenix Suns. I feel like they're one of the more interesting, a little bit of confusing teams so far in the league. They've had a lot of problems going on this year. They've had a lot of tough stretches. They have some hot stretches, but they're on a hot stretch right now. And we're talking about the Phoenix Suns and what are they, really, in terms of where they stand in the NBA rankings and stuff like that. We're going to get all into it in this video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, turn notifications to also like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We're currently, as I'm recording this video, at 480, which is crazy that we're here at 480. But yeah, we're almost at 500. We're very, very close. So if you do like the content, hitting the subscribe button would mean a whole lot to me. I'd really appreciate it. Link to my Twitter and TikTok, stuff like that, in the description down below. And yeah, don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the Phoenix Suns, obviously in the offseason, they made the big move to acquire Bradley Beal and form a new big three of Durant, Booker, Beal. Didn't have a lot of money for agency, and they got some pieces that were all right, I thought, at that moment. And yeah, a lot of people were very interested in what the Suns are going to be this year. A lot of people projected the Suns as one of the top teams in the West. I know I did. I think I honestly might have had the number one in the West. I don't know. Maybe I might have. I don't remember. But of course, people had the Suns high and see what kind of championship contending team this could be. But then Bradley Beal had a lot of injuries. Devin Booker had an injury earlier in the year. They did not get off to a great start. They started off 4-6 with a lot of injuries, obviously, as well. Back-to-back losses to the Spurs. It wasn't great early in Phoenix, but injury problems. But then they started to get a little more healthy, and then they went on a 7-game win streak, beating the Timberwolves, beat the Jazz twice in a row. They beat Golden State in New York. And they got their record up to 11-6. Now people are like, okay, here come the Suns. Here they come. Booker is back and he's playing. Bradley Beal slowly starting to get healthy a little bit here and there. He did get hurt again in that Knicks game. Actually, not in that Knicks game because they won that game. But he did get hurt again later down the line. But, or earlier in the season. Or whatever, somewhere around that point. But it was like, okay, here come the Phoenix Suns. They might be doing something. You know what I mean? But then they went on another pretty bad stretch. They went 3-9 in their next 12 games, and they dropped under 500 to 14-15. Some tough losses in there. A lot, again, in and out of the lineup. Bradley Beal got hurt again. It's kind of KD, Booker. The role players weren't really stepping up. It's just very tough. And a lot of people were talking about, Phoenix. And like, okay, what is this team actually? Do they need to make a move? Is this the right team? Did they do the right thing? Who knows? But now they're currently on another hot streak. They're 10-3 in their last 13 games. They're on a 5-game win streak right now. They're up to 24-18. They're 7th in the Western Conference right now. Only like a game and a half or something out of the 5th seed because that's how close kind of the middle of the Western Conference is. And yeah, they're really starting to ball as of recently. In these wins, this win streak, they beat the Lakers in LA. They beat the Blazers. They had a big comeback against the Kings. They beat New Orleans in New Orleans, and then last night they beat the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, they've been pretty good in this recent stretch. Read off some of their stats. In the last 13 games, they're 6th in points per game. Second, they've been shooting the ball really efficiently. 2nd in field goal percentage. 5th in 3-point percentage. 4th in free throw percentage. Over the stretch, they're 1st in shooting percentage. 2nd in effective field goal percentage. So during the stretch, they've just been shooting the ball really well. They've been shooting the ball great. They have the 6th best offense, 12th defense, 8th in net rating in the last 13 games. Overall now on the season, they're 13th in points per game. They don't really take a lot of shots, which makes sense because they're 25th in pace. They're 28th in field goal attempts. They're near the bottom 5-ish of the league as well in 3-point attempts. But the one thing is, they get to the free throw line. They're 2nd in free throws made, 5th in free throw attempts, 5th in free throw percentage. Overall in the season, they have the 11th best offense, 16th defense, 11th in net rating. So have above average offense, almost top 10 offense, and about an average defense, which is a recipe kind of to be a good winning team. But yeah, this team has been very streaky so far that year. Again, they had a really rough start, then they went on a big win streak, then they had a really rough stretch, and now they're on a really good stretch. So they've been very up and down all year, and that makes sense because their roster has been very up and down all year, especially with injuries. Looking at so far the Suns team as a whole, they have played in 42 games. Of the 42 games, no one has played in every game. The most games played is Nurkic has 40 games played. After that, Kevin Durant has played 35 out of 42. Devin Booker has played 33 out of 42. Bradley Beal's only played 18 out of 42. Bradley Beal's played less than half the games that they've played. KD's missed 7, Booker's missed 9, which isn't crazy, isn't like a huge game comparison, but still, the Bradley Beal is a big one. 18 out of 42 games is really tough, especially when you have this team where it's like they kind of need to all play together. Looking at the role players, I was very excited about the role players coming into the season because I thought like, dang, with the no money they had, they bought a lot of players that just are going to be willing to play their role. They don't have a lot of big egos. They're just going to come in, and they're going to, just do their thing. And I was excited at the start of the year because when they went on that 7-game win streak early in the year, I was like, yes, this is the team I thought. This is the role players I thought. But as season goes on, they've kind of gotten worse throughout the year. Grayson Allen, though, he's been shooting the ball crazy. He's shooting 50, 40, 90 right now, 48% from 3. He's averaging 14 points per game. He has been on fire, especially throughout this little win streak they've had. Over this 5-game win streak, he's averaging 15 points, shooting 54% from the field, and 55% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. He's shooting 50, 40, 90 on the year. I think he leads the league in three-point percentage right now. He's been good. He got to give credit to him. He's been good, and he's only missed 5 games, so he's been good. Eric Gordon, can still provide that offense. He's shooting 37% from 3, averaging 12.5 points per game. Was a little confused because earlier, I think a few weeks ago, there's a report that came out that says he's kind of not happy about his role, which, you're on a team with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. What did you expect your role to be? Nurkic has been okay. He's had his good. He's had his He's averaging 12 and 10, 3 assists, a block, shooting 49% from the field. After that, though, Josh Okogie, Josh Okogie is not there to give him offense. Josh Okogie's there to give him defense because he's shooting 39% from the field and 24% from 3. He's there to give him defense. Keita Bates-Diop has kind of been in and out of the rotation. He's not shooting the ball well either. Jordan Goodwin, he isn't shooting the ball super well either. He's, again, kind of there to give him defense and stuff. Nasir Little hasn't really got the rotation. Yuta Watanabe has not been as good as I thought he was going to be. Chimezie Metu, again, providing energy, but he's not shooting the ball well from 3 right now, shooting 29%. Drew Eubanks has been all right. He's been decent, 5 from 4, doing his thing. But they just don't have any, the role players are not what I expected them to be. I thought they were going to come in. The beginning energy, but they haven't been giving a lot of production in terms of shooting the ball. Like, shooting the 3 ball, the Suns do not look good shooting the 3 ball. Kevin Durant shooting 47%, Booker shooting 37%, Grayson Allen 48%, Bradley Beal 38%, Eric Gordon 37%. After that, everyone else is shooting either 31% or lower. After those 5, the best 3-point shooter they have is Yuta Watanabe shooting 31%. After that, Nurkic 27%, Josh Okogie 24%, Keita Bates-Diop 26%, Jordan Goodwin 29%, Nasir Little 31%, Chimezie Metu 29%. They just haven't been shooting the 3 ball well. And this is a team that doesn't really shoot a lot of threes anyway. Looking at percentage of points they score, they're 25th in percentage of points that are threes. So they're a bottom 5 team in the league in terms of how many points they get off threes. But they're second in percentage of points off mid-ranges, only behind the Chicago Bulls. So they're second in percentage of points off mid-ranges. But also in the paint, they don't have a lot of points. I think they're near the bottom of the league as well in percentage of points that are in the paint. So it's an interesting thing that they don't really get a lot of points off threes or in the paint, but they score a lot off mid-ranges and free throws because they're second in percentage of points off free throws. So their game is mid-ranges and free throws, which is literally dang near almost the opposite of what the NBA is right now, which is threes and layups and free throws as well, but threes and layups. And they said, nah, mid-ranges and free throws. It's very interesting, and it makes kind of a little bit of sense with this team because Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, they're bucket getters. They're not guys that just only score from 3 or only score on. They're guys that, you allow to. They're such great scorers, especially Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, that whatever shot you think is a good shot, go ahead and take it. Because we know you guys can go off and get 50 if you need to. So, KD, D-Book, you guys go out there, shoot whatever shot you can. And those two have been doing really well. Kevin Durant just had 40 last night on no free throws. He's having one of his better seasons, averaging 29, 6, and 5, a block, shooting 53% from the field, 47% from 3. Devin Booker's averaging 27, 5, and 7, shooting 48% from the field, 37% from 3. Those two have been really, really good. Bradley Beal has been kind of up and down. He, had a rough start when he first started playing, but that's also because of the injury. But as of recently, starting to put it together a little bit. He's played in the last 12 games consecutively. And in those 12 games, he's averaging 19, 4, and 4. Shooting 54% from the field, 36% from 3, 80% from the free throw line. He's shooting the ball efficiently from the field, at least from 3. He's kind of been up and down. He had that big game against the Lakers. He's had a couple 20-point games here and there. He had a 25 last night after not hitting a 3 against Indiana. So he's been, slowly starting to come together and starting to be that third option for them. Yeah, and then Grayson Allen's been shooting the ball. Eric Gordon has been, and Justin Nurkic has kind of been like doing a little bit. But after that, this team just does not have enough. And that was a thing talked about coming into the year of will this team have enough? Because of course you have Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. Those three alone, you know what they're gonna give you. They're gonna come in and be the guys. But it doesn't take just three players to win a championship. We saw that in Brooklyn with Kevin Durant. Doesn't take just three people to win a championship. It takes an entire collective team. And you need to have some role players that are willing to step up and willing to do some things and willing and got to hit big shots and make big defensive stops and stuff like that throughout stretches of the game in a playoff run. And right now, I don't really have a lot of confidence that these role players can do that. Like Grayson Allen, I can kind of count on him. He can hit. He's gonna be able to hit threes. He's gonna defend well, or pretty solid enough at least. After that, like Eric Gordon can be very hit or miss, and then defensively, he's 35 years old. Jusuf Nurkic is gonna be okay, but I don't think he's gonna do anything extraordinary. And then after that, I mean Chimezie Metu, Josh Okogie, I don't know what I'm gonna get from them in the playoffs. Defensively and energy at least they're gonna try. But on the offensive end, I don't think anybody's guarding those guys. I think they're gonna double team Booker, Beal, or Booker, Durant, Bradley Beal. They're gonna play 1-on-1, and after that, it's like, all right, go ahead, Josh Okogie, go score 20 and beat us. Go ahead, Jordan Goodwin, go ahead, Drew Eubanks. Go out and go ahead, score 20 on us. Hit a couple threes, do it. Like after that, like there's no one that's really, putting like being like, oh man, we gotta guard him too. After those three, like no one's doing that on the Suns. But they're hot right now. They're playing really good right now. And this team is still honestly one of the more confusing teams, to me at least, because I'm more talking about like ranking them in terms of where they stand in the Western Conference and contenders and not and stuff like that. It's still very interesting because this is kind of the first stretch we have seen them fully healthy or healthy at the most healthy. Bradley Beal's played in 12 consecutive games. KD's missed a game here and there, but overall, like they've been mostly healthy throughout the stretch, and in these last 12 games that Bradley Beal has played in, they are 9-3 in these 12. And I think I saw something earlier that said they're 7-4 when the big three has played for them. So 7-4, that's not bad. In 11 games out of 42 that's the only question mark. But yeah, we just gotta see more. Honestly, if I have to rank, or we have to rank them among the Western Conference, you have to just see more. If they can stay relatively healthy, once we get to like maybe February, I think this stretch coming up is gonna be a big telling of what this team's gonna be. They play a lot on the road. Not the best teams, but they play a lot on the road. They play the Bulls tonight. Then after they go on a big 7-game road trip, they play in Dallas, Indiana, Orlando, Miami, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Washington. Then they come back and play Milwaukee, Utah. Then they go back and go Golden State. Then they play Sacramento, Detroit, and then the All-Star break. So I think this stretch right here is going to show us a little bit of who this team actually is. What kind of fight they have in them. Like what kind of team this is. I think this next stretch is going to be big. Maybe not the biggest stretch of the season, but it's definitely going to be one that's I'm going to be looking at and seeing like, okay, how does this team really look, throughout this stretch? Big road trip, going into All-Star break. Right now on a hot streak, how long is that hot streak going to sustain? Can they go into All-Star break, with some chemistry, with them playing, and maybe, after that they can, kind of be the team we expect them to be. Because right now they're not that far out. I mean, right now they're 7th in the West. They're honestly tied for 6th with Dallas, but Dallas is a tiebreaker over them. Or yeah, if they win like another 2 games in a row or something, they could be 5th. Because they're only a half game behind New Orleans for the 5th spot. But also, if they lose another 2 games, they could be down to 8th, potentially 9th, depending on how the Lakers and Jazz do in the next few games. So they're really kind of in the middle, in the depths of this Western Conference kind of playoff race in January. So it's very interesting to see how they're going to keep going. How much is going to, if they can build some kind of chemistry, find out some players they like and rotations they like and stuff. In concerns of making moves and stuff, I don't even know if they can do that, because they did trade a lot of their pieces to get Bradley Beal and to make all these moves, and they don't have a lot of money. So it's going to be very tough to see, like what they really can do in terms of the trade market, trying to make some moves at that point. But Right now, I think they should be more concerned of getting their full team healthy, getting them together, and getting them to play some games. Getting them all acclimated into the system and playing games. And we'll see how this Phoenix Suns team look in a little while. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, also like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.